It is your boy Black Ronin, back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out here tonight. There, y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. I might drop this video probably first thing in the morning, but it's a little late. But I just really got to get this out here. But guys, I personally believe, and I really want y'all to set to the very end of this video, very important. But to all the Black Americans and mixed Americans, is your mulatto out there. So to everybody out there, melanated people, and you're interested in moving outside the US, whether it be Africa or wherever it is, I think all of us need to really consider working in those countries. You know, not just working online and making the money from America, you know, getting the US dollar. Yes, that is very important. But I do think that we should consider working in the country. Now, here's why I say this. A lot of y'all gonna be like, well, why would I want to make their currency? You know, it's a lot lower. And hear me out, because not everywhere is super low. Like, I mean, there are some places where, yeah, you're probably not gonna make a whole lot, but I think it's very important. And like, guys, look at places like South Africa. You can stay up to 30, I mean, not 30, you can stay up to 90 days with no visa if you're American or come from certain types of countries. So imagine the ground you can cover, especially if you got enough US dollars with you to cover out there in 90 days. Here are just a few things that you can do. Now, one thing with me, guys, I'm an actor. I mean, I took a little break, you know, for the past few months, you know, just trying to get a whole bunch of other stuff grinding and just moving. But yeah, your boy is a actor. You know, probably my biggest film I think I've been a part was Lost Souls. That I think that came out back in 2024. Y'all can watch it on YouTube. Put it up here on the screen so you guys over here can see. I was a background character. I'll show y'all. I'll try to find a picture I took years ago. But yeah, I was in this shoe shop. Yeah, this scene right here. So you'll just see me in the background, you know, with a little jacket on, hoodie. It's like mostly black, got a little bit of yellow on it. So yeah, you'll see me in the background. I look a bit different. I think I had what was I wearing? I think I had a low top fade or something like that. I can't remember, but long time ago. So yeah, so I was in that film, biggest film I did. You know, I was the extra. Unfortunately, I didn't get any IMDb credits, so, but it's still, you know, it was a great experience, and I was happy I got something. You know, that was the biggest thing I got to be a part of. You know, I never got to be on a set like that. And the crazy part, you know, that's a small budget film. You know, that's an indie film. You know, it didn't have much marketing, but guys, when I say it is such a great movie, you got to go watch it. You know, go rent it on YouTube. It's so good. But so yeah, you know. And then other films, I recently finished a TV show. I recently finished a TV show where I actually had a part in. I played the character. What was the name of that character? Dang, what the heck was that? I just played this character. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot the name. But if I remember, I'm just gonna put it up here on the screen. Oh yeah, Ivan. There we go. So I played the character Ivan. Not gonna say too much, but the TV show is called Cassie Catch a Criminal, 1 or 2. So here it is, the poster and everything, a few screenshots that I was on. So yeah, I can't wait for that thing to come out. I mean, I seen a little bit of the test footage. It looks pretty dang on good. So hey, I can't wait to see it. You know, it was a lot of work, you know, for sure, coming back and forth for a little minute. All over town, but hey, it was definitely worth it. But the reason why I brought up acting and stuff like that, because in the entertainment world right now, Hollywood is really changing. So like, guys, they're jumping out of Hollywood, in case you guys don't know. So like California and all that, that's no longer the safe spot to make movies anymore. Like, granted, yes, they still make movies there, but the new hub of like filmmaking is really Atlanta, Georgia, and even they're getting pretty pricey up there now. So like, when it comes to Hollywood, everybody's really outsourcing a lot more. I mean, look at Jurassic World Rebirth. You know, that film wasn't all that great. They shot that thing out there in Thailand, you know, And man, the film looked very, very beautiful. I just wish the story was great. The story was whack, unfortunately. But that just goes to show you that like opportunity is worldwide at this point. Things really changed when I think it was around 2020. But yeah, like we normalized self takes, because before you actually had to go to a particular place, do your auditions and all that stuff. Not all the time, but I'm happy for the normalization of self tapes. You can do that stuff right here in your bedroom. So I think that's very, very awesome. And if you're in a place like South Africa, especially as you're a melanated person, first of all, guys, I need to really put y'all on game, because the media and the movies and TV shows that they got in South Africa, storytelling is so much better than a lot of the garbage that we got here in America, like by a long shot. Like, it's honestly atrocious how bad American media has become. But African media is so good. Like, guys, look at a TV show, Kings of Joburg. Like, that is amazing. Like, just TV in general, guys, like entertainment is so good in South Africa, just many parts of Africa. Like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, they know what they're doing over there. And I'm just looking at the stories. I'm just like, wow, man. And then on top of that, it's a lot of big talent that has came out of South Africa. So if you do happen to make it mainstream, you can, like, guys, like you got a big chance. You got a big chance of going mainstream and getting better traffic as a melanated person in the entertainment world. I would argue way more easier compared to America, because I'll tell y'all why. See, when you're into this acting world as a melanated person like myself right here in America, it's like, for one, it's super, super expensive. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna get pricey. And even though there is places that offer free acting classes at times, but it's a lot that goes into this, guys. And over here is super, super competitive. Like, I would argue this is probably the most competitive place in the world for it, but you still got a chance, but it's just very, very expensive. And then on top of that, outside of it being very expensive, like in terms of the diverse cast, yes, you can still get roles as a melanated person, like myself, and no matter what shade you are. But I hate the things that come along with it. This is why I love making these YouTube videos and really talking to you guys, because in the Hollywood world, this is my biggest problem. I look at a lot of the roles that they have for us, especially on backstage, because backstage you got mainstream stuff and you got just lower budget stuff. So you got kind of mixture of everything, but you do have official stuff on backstage, which is you can sign up for. It's like $20 some a month. So yeah, fairly pretty cheap. It's the easiest way to get started with acting. And every now and then I'll get a few stuff here and there, but honestly, guys, when it comes down to roles, it really angers me. This is why, like I said before, I go in a lot more on YouTube, a lot more, just because, I'm able to create and tell my own stuff and do my own thing, a lot more compared to the acting world. Because, like, guys, here, everything, like, guys, a lot of the stories I keep seeing, they're so repetitive when it, like, literally involves us melanated people. It's nothing really fresh. It's like the typical stereotypes, like the hood person, and the just the all that stuff that we used to, like, it's nothing really fresh that I really see. And if you're if you're just a person of color and you're trying to build something around that, you can do it here, but compared to like the amount of ground you can cover in somewhere like parts of Africa or even Thailand is astronomically farther, especially in Africa, man. Like, cause like, you're gonna blend in with your people 100%. So it's like, bro, like, you really do got a higher chance. And on top of that, you're coming over there as a American. So you're an American, in a place like South Africa, practically a first world country, and you go into the acting scene, dude, you're gonna stand out. Number one, for status, because how many Americans? Well, yeah, it's definitely Americans over there, but you know, that look like you coming over there. So you speak good, like decently English. You know, you speak it pretty well. You got your own type of accent. You're automatically gonna get hired for a decent amount of stuff. And on top of that, you can obviously tell, you know, I got a very unique look to myself. So I can see myself getting cast more in a place like South Africa than here in America. Because here in America, I already know what to expect whenever I come across roles. And it's like, I never want to be an actor that's very desperate for roles, you know, but that's literally how it kind of is set up to be for a lot of us melanated people here when you're looking for roles. Now, you can go to an agency. Now, I was a talent agency. I was a talent agent at one point back in the day, probably like a couple years ago. I was a talent agent. That's where the real money's at. I ain't gonna lie, but unfortunately, I did it in the wrong city. So if I was in a bigger city and I was trying to be a talent agent, it would have been so much better. I would have actually made a decent living. But here where I'm at, because not a lot of people, well, people do it, but it's not really, this ain't the city that's really known for. It's a small little area in Texas. But if I was in a bigger major city, I would definitely look into being a talent agent while you act as well. So that, like, if I go over there to South Africa, I'll be like, hey, listen, I got talent agency experience. I got acting experience. Here's my resume. I've been on this film, that TV show. Like, dude, like, I just feel like my status and stuff like that will go a lot farther in Africa compared to here in America. Because when it comes down to just basically over here, like, I don't feel like I really get a whole lot in return, you know, when it comes down to acting over here. And on top of that, you know, going back to the stereotypes, one of the things that I noticed that really angers me with a lot of roles whenever I jump on backstage. Now when we talk about the agencies and what they give you, now I haven't gotten anything through an agency, you know. I was briefly with an agency back when I lived in Tampa. I'm not gonna say which one, you know, because I ain't like how things ended, so I'm definitely not gonna give them any any props. But you know, but yeah, you know, I was in an agency about 1 to 2 times, but the issue, and well, I didn't get anything, you know, so I didn't get anything. I was blowing all this money on acting classes. And yeah, I was getting better and stuff, but I was just like, bro, I'm not getting anything and I'm throwing away so much money, you know. Well, I shouldn't say throwing away, you know, but it was just very repetitive. That's one thing I hated about acting class back home in Florida, the one I went to. I was like, dang, man, this is so repetitive. Like, can we switch it up? Like, it's like just automatic, you know. It just kind of got boring, you know. Like, I just thought it was gonna be like new lessons and stuff as we go along, but it was just repetition. Here's the script, you read this, we work on a little bit of this, you know, but it just felt very repetitive. I didn't feel like I was unlocking, you know, my full potential like that. Compared to out here where I'm at in this small little city, like when I got into becoming a talent agent and also being a part of, you know, the acting class and stuff, so it was a lot more better, you know. It was way more better. It was more immersed, and like, man, it was awesome, you know. I really, really loved it. But yeah, you know, like, going back to backstage, when it comes down to the stereotypes, especially with us light skins out here, like, if they call us racially ambiguous. So almost every time whenever I see a role regarding us, this really angers me. But they love to make us either the bisexual or the gay character, like, so much. Like, every time I'm searching for roles, that's like all I see. Like, I don't know, like, it almost feel like literally a agenda against us to make us be this way. I'm just like, it's so strange. And it's not just for the men, like, it's for some of the women too. I'm just like, bro, like, it's insane. Like, if you're a dude and you're melanated and you're acting, don't get me wrong, you still got a shot, but like, just understand if you're on the come up, it's gonna take you a lot longer here in America to really break in and really get some decent work. I mean, depending on your city, if you live in Chicago or somewhere, it's a lot of melanated people and stuff. You can probably go a lot farther, but if you're just getting your stuff solely on Backstage for right now, because you're not trying to pay a bunch of money for acting classes when you go through an agency, I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be pretty tough for a while. I'm not even gonna lie to you, But yeah, like I just feel like our image is it's atrocious, in the media. It's either you play this hood dude, or if you're not playing the hood dude, you're playing a sus character, on the flip side, swinging for the other team, or just a background character. Like that's literally the roles I keep coming across, and it's just like, bro, like, can we get something awesome? Like, can we get like a sci-fi character? Can we get like a story, historian, something different, or like a nerdy dude, just a normal regular story, can we get something unique for once? Like, that's one thing I hate about the media here in America. It's like the most degenerate things, and like of the stereotype, that's what makes the most money here in America. And unfortunately, if you do want to step out of that, America is really not the place for that, because this is a very degenerate society. So if you're coming out with something positive, something different, I'm not going to say it's not going to succeed, but it's going to be a lot harder for it to really go somewhere, unfortunately. Now, granted, do we still get good stuff in Hollywood as black people, mulatto people? Absolutely, 100%. But you just don't see it at the rate like it really needs to be. And honestly, I don't think that's really going to change here in America. Now, don't get me wrong. You can still get some good stuff. There's definitely some standout stuff for sure. But there's just a lot of things that I just don't like about being an actor here in America. Versus if I were to take my talents and go to South Africa, I actually love the media over there. Their media is like really good. And it's a lot of big talent that came out of South Africa. Like man, what's this woman? Sharcy. I can't pronounce her first name, but Throne, I think. Yeah, her last name. Yeah, this one right here. She was a famous person, came out of South Africa. Who else? She got Trevor Noah. I think he's from South Africa as well. It was a few people came out of South Africa. Oh yeah, Tyler, that one singer. So yeah, so it's some famous people in South Africa who came out of there, So like you got a big chance, and the cost of doing all this stuff is going to be way more cheaper compared to here in America. There's more melanated people in the system, so you would actually have a fair shot to get some, honestly, a lot more consistent work. Because here in America, if you're a melanated person, you really do got to know your connections if you're an actor, or you have to really, really be on top of things and be ready to travel. But just to show up, you have to understand, going into the acting scene, the majority is white. Nothing wrong with that, because this is their country. This is the majority of the population. So I'm not expecting, as a melanated person, for me to be, having a whole bunch of roles and this and that. I'm not expecting that, But, this is why I say we do got to maximize our sources. Because I'm looking around and I'm seeing these dudes from all overseas, they getting all the good roles. Like, guys, the dudes from the UK, they snagging all the good stuff. Versus us here in America, like, come on, like we not really getting a whole lot of decent stuff. We are, but like a lot of people that do get it, they usually very older. But, and that's another thing too I noticed, but like a lot of us melanated people here in America, young people, like young men, we don't really get a lot of big roles like that, in terms of like mainstream stuff, or just a lot of big acting roles on the regular, compared to a lot of dudes out there in the UK. They really killing it out there, even parts of Africa, especially the UK. I feel like the young generation, they grabbing more of them from the UK mainstream like media service compared to here in America. I'm just like, bro, but yeah, but that's where it's at, but that's a lot of information, guys, in terms of the acting. So that's a good option. If you're not afraid to step out on camera and put yourself out there, it's definitely a fantastic option to get into. Take some acting classes, headshots, and all that stuff. Shoot, I might have to drop a course or something like that, to work with you guys. If that's something you want to learn more about, I normally don't talk about this stuff, but I can definitely set up a course and talk to you guys about that one-on-one, what you need, set up your profile. And I won't charge you guys much, shoot, probably like just $20-$30 for like a consultation, but yeah, if you guys want to see that, if you guys want to contact me about that, here's my email here, and yeah, we can definitely go from there. But yeah, guys, I just had to go in this video because I think there's a lot of opportunities once you step outside of America as a melanated person. And stuff like this, man, like for us that are into entertainment and we want to see better stories, for us group of melanated people who don't want to just see the typical stereotypes or some of the most degenerate stuff coming out the media, which is honestly not even really our control, honestly, at this point. Don't get me wrong, we still do got control, but even when we do, compared to the massive corporations, that's one thing that sucks about America. The corporations have really set it up so you as the little man, you really can't rise if you have like your own stuff going. Don't get me wrong, you can rise, but to compete with the big competitors and really outshine a lot of them in terms of the marketing and the money, we're like, this place is not really set up for that, versus you take your talents elsewhere and you go savage in Africa, the buzz get around for you in South Africa. Best believe they got their connections. It's a lot of money in South Africa. So, and best believe Marvel Studios, I guarantee they look into places like that. I guarantee Sony, they look into places like, bro, Hollywood has changed so much like over the last 5 years. Like, it's insane. So like the streets of California where it used to be buzzing is dead. And don't be surprised if you see a lot of big actors and movie stars. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of them move overseas and do work over there because they're like, man, I get better opportunity over there. This director, this studio, everybody's like, screw it, we're not about to pay these high prices over here during inflation. We're gonna take our talents and everything elsewhere, make our money over here, pay our tariffs, back home, and we're just gonna go shoot over here. So really, you'll be doing yourself a better service to go outsource and sure, you won't get paid as much, but at the same time, you're getting more recognition, you're getting more work, I would argue, because in America right now, trying to be an actor as a melanated person, like, bro, like, it's it's something else, it really is. But I mean, I still enjoy what I do, but I rather go all in with YouTube a lot more, just because I can actually control this. I can control my image. I can control what I want out here, versus with acting, you really have to pay attention to what type of roles you're coming across and trying to play, because I turned down a lot of roles simply for the stereotypes, like I don't mind playing certain stereotypes, but when you're talking about the LGBT stuff, like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, and they push it so much with the light skins, like the racially ambiguous people, like with my type of phenotype, and it's really annoying because like that, like it's like they're trying to push a standard on us. I'm like, bro, like y'all know how dumb Americans is. Like, they see some shit on TV and they think that shit is true. Like, that's the average American. I'm like, bro, like, come on now, like y'all know what time it is. Like, but yeah, guys, that's all I want to say. I rambled for long enough, but there's a lot of opportunities outside of America, and I think you should definitely, as a American, go out there and put yourself in those opportunities. Don't just rely on working online. Diversify, because hey, anything can take you far. You never know who you can run into, do business with, and I think that's how we gotta do it in 2025, 2026, and beyond. But it's your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Y'all take it easy.